Yeah, but getting the MOTB is something you can repent from. So let's read it. It's the book of Revelation. Lord, well, I could get it. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. Now, who's the he? It's concerning Esau. Particularly the ones at the top, whatever you want to call them, the elites, the Western globalists, the rich and powerful, whatever name you give them, the Illuminati, whatever name you give them, because this is their chief, intent, their plan. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. So it's something that the majority of the people of this planet Earth are going to have to take, free and bond, to receive a mark. Now, when you go into that word mark, you'll get the word, go into the different etymologies of it, in the Greek. You'll get the word charagma. And when you go into that word, it basically goes into what? An incision, a scratching or a cut. So this show you that the mark of the you-know-who is referring to a real, literal, physical, thing. Not spiritual, not religion. It's not an idea. Well, in a way, it is an idea of Esau, but it's going to be manifested physically, shall I say. It says, in the right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. I'm going to get into the number of his name, right? But the point of this MOTB is, that, basically it's going to be surrounding, the action of buying and selling. Without it, you won't be able to buy and sell, so it's going to be a form of digital currency, and that real physical small piece of device will be used as an instrument, as an instrument of transaction, of buying and selling, and also holding, different types of information. And it's also going to be used as an object to connect you to this beast system, to this new world order, to the grid, whatever you want to call it. And this is a future that's fastly approaching. Now let's continue reading. It says, now what is the number of his name? Verse 18. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding. Salakia. It says, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, threescore, which is 666. Now, when you go into that word, when you go into the Greek, of the word 600, threescore, it's chi psi stigma. Chi psi stigma. Now, what do the word stigma means? The word stigma is from the Greek word stizo, which means to stick, to prick, a mark incised or punched. So the MOTB is a physical thing. It's not religion, it's not sin, but it's a physical object that will be implanted in the flesh. So stigma meaning what? To prick, to stick, to mark, and size meaning to cut in. Now, Esau, he will use this MOTB, look up, in other words, a CHIP implant, a chip implant. Esau will use a chip implant to basically own you, to basically make you a servant, a possession of this, this order of his, this beast system of his, and that's a world that, Esau wants, and that's a world that he's going to attempt to bring, and he's going to get halfway successful, because he will cause many of you, as it is written, rich and poor, free and bond, great or small, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead. And this is what he will accomplish. So it's gonna come a time when a lot of people, whether because of circumstances, because there's a lack of food or whatever the circumstances is, no matter, it's gonna come a time people are gonna submit to that measure, submit to that mandate of receiving a physical piece of technology in their body, which I went and did some history, or some research concerning the history surrounding slavery, in ancient Rome, and how would a servant in ancient Rome be recognized, and there's certain history surrounding that, concerning branding and things like that, which in ancient Rome they will brand or physically mutilate a servant as a symbol of ownership, or being owned, or being a possession, as a scar of servitude. Now I got this text from a few websites, so I'm gonna just read it. It says there were hints that could allow people back then, during the time of the Roman Empire, to see that the man or woman or child observed is in fact a slave, and that has no personality. Now you had a saying back in the Roman law, meaning what it says, right? Servus non habet personam. Lord, when I pronounced it right, it's Latin, meaning what? A slave has no persona. And that's just the way, that's how it was back then. Now slave masters, or whatever you want to call them, would literally brand or mark their slaves with a tattoo, mutilation, a scar, whatever, and this is something that's about to happen again in these last days, because Esau, he want to bring a world where people own nothing, they don't even have freedom. That's what Esau want. In fact, this is what he said. Let's get another image real quick. This is what he said, at the World Economic Forum, which are the people they're considered, globalists. It says, what's good, folk? It says, you'll own nothing and be happy. And that's the world that Esau want. That's the world that Esau want to bring. You'll own nothing and be happy. But you get the point. I'm going to close off from that. Lord willing, this lesson's edifying. I will give double honors to the elder apostles, to the elder bishops, to the upcoming elders that rule well of GMS. I want to give peace and blessings unto the elect. And salute shalom to the fellow laborers pushing his truth, and all praises and honor and glory. But to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, shalom.